It's a great day for a walk. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Let's look around at our surroundings first and then get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are walking today. I hope your day is going well. I said before I was going to do a playlist on Jeremiah, and I think I'm doing it for my benefit. I really enjoy the book of Jeremiah, and I'm on the last chapter, and I wanted to just talk about it. Oh my gosh, Jeremiah has been such a good book. There are 52 chapters in the book of Jeremiah, and this last chapter really struck me. They are talking about Zedekiah. He was 21 years old when he became king in Jerusalem. 21. So, think about how you were at 21. And for it to be such a big job as king, first of all, a lot of us are not mature enough to do a lot of things, but to be king, he did some things that was not good. The Bible says in verse 2, he did what was evil in the Lord's sight, just as Jehoiakim had done. So in the Lord's anger, he banished the people of Jerusalem and Judah from his presence and sent them into exile. Now, exile means that they are no longer welcome in the area that they are from, Jerusalem, Judah. So they're exiled from their land, taken from. So on January 15th, the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, so remember he reigned for 11 years, and this is his 9th year. On the 9th year, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, this is in verse 4, led his entire army against Jerusalem, and they surrounded the city and built siege ramps against its walls. And Jerusalem was kept under siege. There was guards surrounding it day and night until the 11th year of King Zedekiah's reign. In his 9th year, this took place, and it continued all the way into his 11th year. So that was the year when his kingship ended. Now, I want to go back to Jeremiah, because Jeremiah in chapter 51, that was his last time he ended his messages. It ended in chapter 51. So now this is the last book, chapter 52. So Jeremiah is done speaking. No more messages. He said enough. He said what the Lord wanted him to say. And you saw, if you read the book of Jeremiah, what took place when he told the people what the Lord wanting him to say. And it didn't go well. Even to the point where I looked up in the end, whatever happened to Jeremiah? Well, it said that he was in exile in Egypt. Okay, he was exiled in Egypt. It doesn't say in the Bible what actually took place with Jeremiah. People are speculating that he was killed, but the Bible doesn't say, so I don't want to speculate. But he did his part. He did what the Lord told him to do. That's what I want to do. I want to go out doing what the Lord asked me to do. It's not going to always be peaches and cream and roses and sunshine and all that when you do what the Lord tells you to do. But you know that you have finished your course. You know that you have ran the race that he set before you to do what he's called you to do. And there's nothing better in the end to hear, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things, and I will make you ruler of many. Enter into the joy of the Lord." That is the words that I want to hear when I stand before the Lord. But back to Jeremiah chapter 52. So now the people of Jerusalem and Judea are in exile. And around this time, the food supply was entirely gone. The walls of the city is surrounded by Nebuchadnezzar's army. It's like they said in verse 6, the famine in the city had become very severe, with the last of the food entirely gone. Can you imagine? You're surrounded by enemy forces and you have no food. What had happened was at nightfall, all the soldiers in that city made plans to escape because there was a hole in the wall and it was broken. It was a broken wall, so they planned to escape, and the only way of doing it was at night. So at night, they went out through that wall and they took off running. Now, as you can imagine, they got caught. And the king Zedekiah, he was one that got caught. His men had abandoned him. And now he was on the run, and now he was caught. He had to watch all his sons being killed. And then they gouged out his eyes, Zedekiah, and bound him in bronze chains and led him away to Babylon. So when I read this, I immediately started thinking about Jeremiah and what he was trying to tell the people in order for them to avoid all of this. And sometimes people are saying words that the Lord is telling them to share with others so that they can avoid destruction. And it's just a matter of listening. He has his people all over the place telling people what to do, how to do it. But it's all comes back to that word, one word, choice. Just like in the Bible, they chose not to listen to Jeremiah. And God clearly said what was going to happen. What is happening is what he said was going to happen. So the temple and everything was destroyed. The people that were still in that area, they were all taken by Nebuchadnezzar's captain of the guard. And they seized over 4,600 people. They left some of the poorest people in Jerusalem and Judah. They left them there to take care of the farm or whatever. But they did leave some of the poorest people. They found a lot of them that were hiding, and they took up about 4,600 people captive to Babylon. And this was what Jeremiah was trying to tell the people. It is good to know that even today, God is speaking to his people and trying to alert us, make us aware of what we need to do in order to do what God is asking us to do. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful thing to walk in the will of God so that you can avoid bad situations, especially if you know ahead of time. It's just like your mom telling you, don't walk out there in the street, you're going to get hit. And you walk out there anyway and you get hit. You know, this is a way of avoiding situations. And it's wonderful to know that we have a choice. We can choose to listen, or we can choose not to listen. But I have thoroughly enjoyed the book of Jeremiah. If you have not read it, please take the time to read it. Get to know the who, what, why, when, and where of this book. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear it, and enjoy your walk and make it a great day.